What's up, legends? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're back on Black Ops 6 Zombies, and we're going to be talking about Season 4. Now, if this is the first time you're hearing about it, the roadmap was released today, and absolutely no signs of a map coming out in Season 4, which is a bit unfortunate. However, there are some good things to look forward to, and obviously that means that Season 5 will probably have a new map. However, I do want to talk a little bit about the way that they've done the content this year and how I feel about it. I want to go over everything that is coming with Season 4, the good, the bad, and obviously just share my opinion on the content in general. So let's go ahead and dive into it. First thing though, I do want to say it is a bit unfortunate they front loaded all of the content. Like I was saying, it is kind of unfortunate to me that they decided to give us Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, just new map after new map, when they could have kind of delayed some of the content that was in the beginning, just because people had so much more to work with, right? People were unlocking camos, people were enjoying Liberty Falls and Terminus and completing the Easter eggs. Obviously, if you're a well-seasoned veteran or somebody that plays zombies a ton, you were probably still running out of stuff by Season 1 anyway. But it just, in general, for the regular casual player base, I think they had a lot more to do. Now that we're going into Season 4 and we are deciding this is the time to have a little bit of a lull in new content, whether it's a new map or whatever, I think that is actually a huge impact because this is the point in the game where people are running out of things to do, regardless if they're a casual and a veteran or whatever the case might be, right? So that's why I think there's a little bit more of a drop off after a new map is released at this point in the game than maybe much earlier because people have less to grind or work toward, or, not everyone does challenges and things like that. So once they complete the Easter eggs, they've done all their camos, they've completed the new weapons or whatever new content is available, they just move on to playing other games or other modes. Let me know down in the comment section below how you guys feel. I honestly would have preferred if we'd have skipped Season 1, had no new content through Season 1, or had maybe no new map in grief mode in Season 1. I don't know how they could have done it. Maybe flip-flop. I think a lot of the choice, the deciding factor, I guess you would say, in Season 4 for grief was probably how many maps they had released. So they probably thought, let's release this amount of maps. It gives us a lot of places for people to kind of play for this new mode, or this returning mode, I should say. And then we'll drop that mode in Season 4, and then Season 5 will wrap up the storyline with the final map. I think that was probably their plan, but realistically, again, I think it's one of those things where we could have probably been better off getting a map in Season 2, Season 3, Season 4, Season 5. I think that would have been a much better place. Start Season 1 without any content or a lot less of it, and then going into Season 6, we're likely not going to have content either. So all the content is just dead set in the middle, giving people tons of stuff to look forward to, and it doesn't make the game feel like it's dying off at different points throughout the year. So now let's go ahead and jump in to talk about Season 4. So of course, like I said, a fan favorite mode for it's been a decade, I guess, since it's been in, is Grief. This is a 4v4 competitive mode where two teams outwit and outlast each other, capture zones to debuff enemies, no damage against other players, so it's not directly PvP, but indirect PvP. By completing objectives or capturing zones throughout the map, you will be able to put a debuff on the other team, negatively impacting them and making their odds of getting eliminated a little bit higher, right? So I think the problem with this mode, and this is just me, obviously I'm going to try it out. I'm going to probably have some fun with it. I think a lot of people will as well, is unfortunately with a mode that is PvP-ish or competitive or whatever the case might be in a PvE style mode like zombies, it doesn't appeal to everybody, right? A new map can appeal to all player bases, all people of all types, all players of all types, whatever the case is, right? But maybe a mode like Grief doesn't. So if you're not planning on playing Grief, this can be a huge hit and feel like you're not going to have anything to look forward to in some cases. And I think that is another thing that is a bit unfortunate. The good news, though, releasing Grief in Season 4, like I said before, they'll have access to Liberty Falls, Terminus, Citadel, and the Tomb alongside Shattered Veil. I do honestly think Grief is going to be a ton of fun. I mean, they do have some restrictions. Wonder weapons will not be allowed. The gobblegums that you can't use will be exit strategy, idle eyes, wonder bar, which obviously you can't have a wonder weapon, timeout, and flavor hex, which is a new Season 4 gobblegum. But not seen since Black Ops 2, Grief returns to zombies. The fan favorite mode pits two teams of 4 against each other, with both sides vying to outsurvive the other. As the battle lines are drawn between Sam and Dr. Richtofen, or Director Richtofen, each team pledges their support to one of these rivals at the start of the match, subsequently receiving handler comm support from one of them throughout the ensuing chaos. The way to win is the winning team is the one that manages to grief their rivals into being killed or entering a down state. As long as one or more team members are upright, the match will continue. The arenas are going to be like smaller versions of the other maps that already exist. So I know they have 2 places in Liberty Falls they're going to use. It's like 4 in Shattered Veil. They just have some smaller versions of the already existing maps where some doors are going to be automatically opened, giving you a certain amount of play space you can play in. And then the doors that aren't available for that arena will just be closed and you won't be able to open them. You will be able to respawn your teammates. I think there's a respawn wave every 3 rounds. You can join in progress. Unlike in standard playlists, salvage pickups in Grief are worth 100 salvage, visible to all players, and can only be picked up by the first player to grab it. So it's not going to be, individualized drops, I guess you could say. Rounds will progress faster than usual, and the amount of zombies per round has been increased to account for all 8 players. All undead entities, except for bosses, are expected, and if a player fails to kill the zombies, the round will turn. Now, what is a grief? It's a temporary debuff, penalty, or negative gameplay mechanic that you can inflict on your rival team at a capture zone. The type of grief is shown at the objective tracker within a capture zone, and there are a few possible outcomes: a weapon nerf, an ammo drain, a zombie ambush, a weapon carousel, and frozen. And they all obviously negative impact the other team. Grief and Capture Zone also introduced new score types, including Capture Zone Kill, Capture Zone Win, and Capture Zone Elite Kill, which I'm assuming is just going to give you a higher value of points. The amount of arenas that you will have available on launch of Season 4 will be 11. Like I said, there's going to be 2 on Liberty. We got 2 on Terminus, 1 Citadel, 2 Tomb, and 4 Shattered Vale. The good news, though, is if that doesn't appeal to you, that isn't all the content in Season 4. So we will get some new challenges in limited time modes. I'm excited that they're finally adding some new Dark Ops challenges. A new mysterious set of hidden calling cards and bounteous amounts of XP are available at the start of Season 4. Thanks to the fresh drop of zombie Dark Ops challenges, who knows, maybe there's even one for Grief, but all the rest of the information further is redacted. The cool thing is that they're adding more Dark Ops challenges. The problem is that they're waiting until Season 4 to do so, and I hope that they didn't go backward and add a bunch of ones that we already would have completed had they had introduced them to begin with. Outside of that, I think it is good that they're doing it. Obviously, it's great. It's more content. I just wish they would have done it season by season instead of waiting until Season 4. Again, they're just front-loading stuff. Put a bunch of stuff here, don't do a lot of stuff here, do a ton of stuff here. It's just kind of making up for where they didn't do something in previous seasons, whereas now they're not providing a map, so now they're going to provide this other stuff. We're going to be getting some new LTMs. Some of these are good. Some of these are absolutely terrible. I'm hoping these ones could be a little bit of fun, though. One of them is going to be called Starting Room. It will be coming in mid-season, inspired by the starting room in the classic Moon Zombies map. Drop in with up to 3 of your zombies crew in a more straightforward but challenging experience where you're locked into the first zone of the map. Raptor 1 is gone, meaning no exfills, and the undead hordes are only getting stronger, but all doors in the initial zones are unlocked. Survive to the highest round you can. So it's not going to be exactly a first room challenge per se, it is going to be a first arena zone, right? So like maybe there's going to be on Shattered Vale, you'll have the first set of doors open there, and maybe you can get to the front of the mansion, and that'll be all of the area for that region. Or maybe you start in the back of the mansion or at the bottom. They're going to choose the arenas accordingly, but essentially you won't have to open any doors within that area, and any doors beyond that area will not be openable. So you will be limited to whatever space they give you. It should be interesting to see, though, if they offer you Pack-a-Punch or Arsenal or things that aren't normally within that space in order to help you kind of survive the very limited area. If not, it's going to be a fun challenge regardless, but I think it'll be extremely difficult in some circumstances if they don't give you anything to work with. The other LTM that's going to be coming out is going to be called the Abomination Challenge, also coming mid-season. Enter a warped version of Liberty Falls during this new mid-season event and hunt down an ultra-powered abomination. Perhaps it's wise to bring backup. So they make it sound like it's going to be extremely challenging to do solo. More than likely, you're going to want to bring a squad. And that kind of just sounds like a lot of fun in general. I'll be interested to see what these two LTMs bring to the table. I honestly think the starting room one sounds like the most fun, but obviously the Abomination one will at least have a good solid one-time playthrough. There is going to be another LTM, which I don't see mentioned here in the patch notes, but I know it was on the roadmap. It's not the patch notes, by the way. It's the blog. But there is another one. I think it's called King of the Dead. It's going to have a leaderboard, and you're going to go through, and the amount of eliminations you get are going to put you on this leaderboard, and wherever you are on the leaderboard is going to determine the rewards that you get. I don't know the full depth of it, but I already know that there's a lot of concern, at least on X and on social media in general, because they're just saying, oh, look, the people that AFK glitch or that do some sort of glitches in general, they're just going to rule the leaderboard. What a waste of time as an event. I think that's actually kind of true. They're not going to do something to mitigate the things that could potentially compromise the competitive nature of having a leaderboard for this set event that is coming. I think they shouldn't offer the event in general. It's just a waste of time. So hopefully they have things figured out for that. I don't know exactly when that plans to launch. I don't see it here in the blog, like I said, but it is 100% on the roadmap, so I'm expecting it at some point in Season 4. Next, we get to talk about something I consider probably the best part of Season 4 in regards to zombies, something I've been looking forward to being introduced into the game since the start of Black Ops 6 Zombies. We got a new ammo mod coming at the launch of Season 4, and it's Shatter. Bullets deal explosive damage. Each bullet has a chance to create an explosion that destroys armor. Finally, something that's going to help us further destroy armor, right? Once you get into those higher rounds, most of the zombies are wearing heavy armor, or there's a lot more heavy armored zombies, helmets, whatever the case might be. This is going to give us a lot better opportunity to take those enemies on and put us in a much better place. I think this is one of the things that I've been looking forward to most for this game. I think it's going to help higher round issues that we kind of face, especially with regular weapons. I'm really excited to check this one out. It's nice of them to even introduce in the blog the major and minor augments that we can expect. For our major, we have big game. Shatter Blast can be used against elite enemies, expecting an impressively sized explosion. I'm guessing that the explosion is going to do a lot of damage to the enemies around it too. So if you actually get this to activate on big game, or an elite, I should say, you're probably going to benefit from getting it to explode, right? So we'll have to do some testing when this actually launches to see what's up. Blast chain on explosion, 3 additional explosions occur in rapid succession. That might be extremely overpowered for big groups of zombies, especially at later rounds. Definitely excited to get my hands on that. And then blast repair. For every enemy that has its armor destroyed by Shatter Blast, armor health will be restored for the player. This could also be something that could potentially be really, really good. May not be very powerful in the earlier rounds, but obviously once you get to that point where a lot of your enemies are armored, probably going to be insane. For our minor augments, we have Blast Zone, increase the size of the explosion, which means that obviously it'll affect more enemies. Blast Boost, increase the explosion damage. This leads me to believe that maybe Blast Boost and Big Game together could be crazy. Obviously, you won't have elites on the map all that often, so very few times you'd probably take full advantage of that, but it could be a fun combination. And then Blast Wave, normal enemies are going to be knocked down by the explosion. This is probably going to be the way to go, just because if you're rocking, multiple things that can knock down enemies, whether it's a frenzied guard, the jug, breaking your armor plate, and now this blast wave thing, you could have enemies and zombies or whatever, I guess I could say, laying on the ground at most of the time, right? So that's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, with Season 4, we're going to get a couple new Gobblegums, or I guess 3 new Gobblegums. It's more than a couple. Explosive Flourish, reloading your weapon creates an explosion around you. Gobblegum lasts for 2 minutes. This one is going to be epic. That one could be kind of fun, honestly. Gives you something to protect you while you're reloading, even though we do have Electric Cherry, like one step further. Flavor Hex, this is going to be a legendary, activates a random Ultra Gobblegum. That one could be kind of interesting and give you a chance at maybe something you don't normally get. Then, of course, we have a whimsical Gobblegum, Rain Burps, Zombies Killed belch sparkly rainbow bubbles, and it lasts for 3 minutes. I honestly think they should do way more whimsical ones because they can just be way more fun, but you obviously have to exfil to do or get those, and a lot of people aren't going to be doing that. I have quite a few built up, but I exfil probably way more often than most people. Now, we have one more thing to cover for Season 4 in regards to zombies, and it's a new score streak. This one is going to be called the Grim Reaper, available in season. Going to cost 2,000 salvage. Hammer away at the crafting table and assemble a powerful semi-automatic launcher known as the Grim Reaper, which deals out lethal damage to the undead with up to a quartet of missiles fired in one load. With a capacity to carry up to a dozen rockets and the ability to fire them individually or as a quartet of devastation, this can level a courtyard of undead with a single launch. Unlock the support weapon once you've earned it via the Rivals event. So honestly, I don't really hate that they're adding new score streaks. I'm not a huge advocate of using score streaks unless obviously you're going high round and it's a little bit more required. But other than that, I just feel like playing the game without them is a much more enjoyable experience. So I don't have to have this thing. But it is cool that they're adding a brand new score streak. The Death Machine, I don't feel like it's as useful as it used to be back in the day. I liked it more as a power-up, if I'm being completely honest. If you guys agree with that, let me know down in the comment section below. But honestly, that is everything that is jam-packed with content here for Season 4 Zombies, or I guess very lackluster if you've been a part of this journey all the way up to Season 4 so far. So Season 1, 2, and 3, they came out swinging. Season 4, it feels a bit like a step in the wrong direction, but obviously we know Season 5, they're going to probably come out hot. I do think it's a little bit interesting, though, that they came out with an ammo mod for this season. They probably wanted to make sure they kind of gave us whatever they felt like they could, because more than likely that means there won't be an ammo mod in a future season. There's probably going to be another perk, which I'm assuming is going to be Tombstone, over on Janus Towers. And I don't expect that we're going to get a 5th map in Season 6 or anything like that. I think if anything, we'll get a super Easter egg and all of that stuff at the final season. And maybe that even comes with Season 5 as well. But I'm a little bit disappointed with Season 4. It's going to probably hold us off a little bit until Season 5. but it is, again, a bit unfortunate that we're not going to get a new map, new play space, and I kind of wish, going backward, that they shifted all of the content forward a bit so we wouldn't find ourselves in this position. But that's going to wrap things up for us here. Thank you guys for all the support in today's video, all the support in the channel. I look forward to seeing y'all in the next one. Peace!